conflict. We're going to talk about creating connectedness through conflict as part of our Taming Your Sales Crocodiles work. So here's a question. How do you deal with conflict at your best, and how do you deal with conflict at your worst? Well, I'll start with at my worst. At my worst, I avoid it like the plague. I deny it. I say, oh, it's great, when I mean that's really bad. Or I become professorial and try to basically outmaneuver you and put your opinion out of its misery by being super smart about it. That's how I go with it at my worst. At my best, I look at conflict as information. It's like, aha, here's an obstacle. Here's a disagreement. Here are different perspectives. What is there for me to learn? What might the other person be thinking about? What is there for me to assert? And where might be our common ground? What about you, Elena?
Thank you for that, Helge. At my worst, I yield to emotions, and which may lead to two scenarios. I either fight, and for something that often is not worth fighting for, and it's based on some assumptions that are taken for granted, or I withdraw if, it's like I give up, I walk out. At my best, I'm learning to be comfortable with discomfort of it. Like, oh, it's okay. It's a way of looking at things from a different perspective, and then trying to stay calm, listen, find out more, ask questions, listen some more, and then try to find a shared perspective. And that becomes a very interesting learning process to learn more about self and about the others. But I think for me, the most challenging part is the emotions that really become a big player in any conflict. What about you, Carson?
It's a great question, because conflict can be very rife in our lives and in our professional lives, and especially in sales and sales leadership. And so, hilariously, I actually compare and contrast this to the person I was in my 20s, where I was maybe a little bit more of a hothead, to my now current advanced, more seasoned age, where I try to be a little bit more disciplined. And so I think in those moments of conflict where I'm at my worst, it's that reactionary piece. It's some of those emotions and that discomfort that you get in those moments that can cause you to lash out or react out of anger or fear. It's very much, as Elena said, that fight or flight, right? You have those immediate knee-jerk reactions. You feel that immediate need. Maybe you're threatened by something, and you feel that immediate need to be the smartest person in the room or to solve the problem immediately. So you make a knee-jerk reaction that actually makes the situation worse. Now, over time, experience, gaining some polish, we look at these things differently, right? We learn to lean into those situations. And it's exactly what you were both describing: sitting in it, listening, really understanding the root of the issue. Like you have a customer support issue. You have to sit in that. You've got to be at the pulse of that scenario. You've got team conflict. Got to hear all sides. You don't need to render an immediate knee-jerk reaction. You need to make sure you take into consideration the needs of the many. And then lastly, a lot of times, whether it's going through tough negotiations, they get very challenging, get very heated. It's making sure that we listen, we stay calm and professional, we make sure we're at the root of the issue, that we maintain our customer obsession and our team culture obsession. And if we do all those things, that's how we will reach the outcome where everybody wins.